Hello YouTube, Marielle here. Today I would like to talk about the bending, how my narcissist or my wolf or my covert abuser bends reality. And there are so many things now that I can see so clearly, his techniques, his tactics, all of those different tools that he has employed against me throughout the years that we've been together. And the sad part of this as well is because of my awakening, I like to call it an awakening, really, because of me becoming aware of the situation and what's happening. And I look back at our life together and I can see I had already noticed the patterns, but I didn't know what they meant or why he was doing those things and the point of doing those things. And towards the end, because it was just so, the patterns were just so in my face, I could no longer ignore them or rationalize them. I was still stuck because I could not figure out what he was getting out of doing those things. Whereas now I do. Now I clearly, now everything is laid out in front of me. I know exactly what's happening. But the saddest part of this is as well me seeing my children do those very same things. And the dumbing down is most definitely another major tool that my wolf has used against me. And one of the things that I now understand is how he literally dumbed himself down to force me to feel superior to him. Well, this is very bizarre because by doing that, he forced me to feel superior to him. Now, that feeling of superiority, or that's the only thing I can think of to call, is feeling that he's stupid and he doesn't get it, or he needs my help, or forcing me to feel a certain way about him, which is not even in line with the way I normally react to people, or I am with people, or I interact with people. I never interact with people on that basis. I've never been like that. And yet he managed to make me feel above him. He forced me to feel that way. By doing that, by forcing me to feel superior to him, he, by the same token, forced me as well to underestimate him, so that I never suspect him of anything bad. And by achieving that, it kind of lowered my defenses. It basically forced that cognitive dissonance that they talk about. It forced that it forced me to experience that on so many things. So things would happen, and then I could see that it was strange or not normal, but at the same time I didn't. It's almost as if, no, it's difficult to explain, because it's not that I didn't dare think it was that strange. It's a case of, yes, it's strange, but because I had never seen it, I've never... No, it's more a case of... I guess I just could not... It forced me not to challenge him, basically. because I felt constantly that he didn't know what he was doing. He didn't mean what he was doing. He couldn't possibly mean what he's doing. He's just not aware of the full implication of what he's doing. So it was a major it's a major technique that he used to fool my senses, to fool my instincts, to fool my to fool my protective instincts or my alarms. And it really worked. It worked powerfully. Another thing that he has used to bend reality, to use basically to shift reality in such a way that it works at his advantage, is by pretending, constantly pretending. It goes hand in hand with his constant lying, manipulating of the truth, only giving me half-truths, or lying. Well, at the time I didn't know he was lying. Now I know that, you know, our every interaction has only been based on half-truths or complete and total lies, or him basically just biting his tongue and not telling me anything, never giving me any kind of advice, anything positive, or to give me anything that could help me understand anything, or to progress in anything. You know, the whole time I've been with him, I just realized I've never learned anything. There has never been a time when that man has taught me something. The same with our children. That man has never taught us anything of value or even of entertainment. Absolutely nothing. He has never shared anything, whereas I know he has learned so much from me, so much. And I know that because I caught him so many times discussing my ideas, my opinions, my insight, my, you know, all of those things. I've caught him using those things as his own ideas with other people when I knew it was coming from me. So I know, I just know he learned so much from me, and it was never the other way around. By using the lying and the dumbing down, it's a lot. It's a lot when you think about it. In a lifetime, it's a lot to be subjected to this. When we first met, my wolf, one of the things that absolutely amazed me about him, it was his memory, his ability to recollect things. He never forgot things. If I just told him, you know, just randomly, you know, to go and get me something, or, you know, several things he had, you know, I had a list of things to do. I mean, he'll come back and those things will be done, you know, and he didn't even have a list, or I didn't have to double check on him. I mean, those things were just attended to all the time for a very long time. And then suddenly, not suddenly, but gradually, he started to forget things. He started to, to be forgetful and not getting things right. And it just gradually got worse. And what actually happened is that I started to worry about him. I started to think, oh my God, you know, maybe he's starting to have, maybe that's the beginning of Alzheimer, or there has to be something wrong with him, you know, I need to keep an eye on it, you know. And now I know for sure this is part of the whole gaslighting in the entire relationship from the beginning, which is acting wonderful and all of that, the love bombing, to now suddenly removing those, you know, not acting the same way by removing those things, this part of his personality that I started to rely on, and start removing it from the equation of our relationship, and also basically it's all about forcing me, the partner, into a different state of where I worry about him, or where I perceive him even more in a situation, thinking that maybe there is something wrong with him, forcing me to worry about him when actually there's nothing wrong with him, and it's been a game the whole time. There is one thing, not so long ago, when he first came back from when he first came back working here, he came one day and said that he had been hurt. Now, bear in mind that my wolf has always complained about something. And he's always been, oh my God, look at me, I'm hurt here. Oh, look at me. Oh, look, I'm hurt here. Oh, look. I mean, he's done this consistently. And you know, by the time he came back, I was aware of that, of him, you know, trying to always draw my emotions out that way to get my attention. And also I had noticed that every time I've been sick, every time there's been something wrong with me, the man completely ignored me. So this time when he actually came and started to complain about having been hurt, and you know, he showed his toes, and he said, oh, it was, you know, there was so much blood before, but he managed to fix it, and he's fine. And I gave him no reaction whatsoever, none whatsoever. I just completely dismissed him. But I felt bad inside. Inside, I really wanted to do what I usually did, which is, oh my God, are you okay? Oh, you know, let me see, you know, oh, you're gonna be okay. I just wanted to do that usual thing, that usual display of my love and my care and my attention and all of those things. But I just, you know, held myself tight, and I said, I'm just not going to give him that attention at all. And the whole day, I mean, part of the morning and part of the afternoon, that man just kept coming back and forth in the kitchen in front of me, you know, limping like this non-stop. So when you see that, when I saw that, I thought that maybe, you know, I was being too harsh, and maybe he actually hurt himself. So I wasn't feeling great about my decision. And then at one point I went into my bedroom, and then when I came back out, he didn't see me, and I saw him walking like normal, like there was no problem at all. He had no problem at all. He was walking straight, and he was walking rather briskly. You know, when I say briskly, just a normal pace, you know. And he didn't see me, and I went, oh my God. Oh my God. And that's when it hit me, just how much the lying, how deep, and how so insignificant, so petty, just so unbelievably, just unimaginable, the level of lie he has used just to feed off of my attention, just to extort the emotions out of me. And I couldn't believe it. And that was the very first time that I saw that, and I realized just how bad and how deep and how incredible, you know, such person is and is capable of doing. I couldn't believe it. So what I'm trying to say is that with a covert abuser like my wolf, they can literally make you worry, they can literally fake anything, and so that as well you don't suspect them of anything, so that I mean, it serves, when you think about it, and once you know the whole reality of, you know, who those people are, it's everything they do always serve, it never serves just one purpose. Everything they do always serves 2, 3, and possibly 4 purpose, all lined up, securely lined up, so that when you are aware, you're confronted with another reality that you have to unmask and unwrap, and then once you're done with that, and then there's another reality. So basically there's so many layers, there are so many reasons they could do that, and it's almost like you're always surrounded with different side effects of whatever they're throwing at you. It's exhausting. Unraveling all of that is emotionally exhausting. But another thing I've discovered, and especially when it comes to memory, is that my own daughter does the very same thing. She already has started practicing this tool. My daughter, she's my child. Whether it's my son, whether it's my daughter, they are my kids. And I'm not a working mother, so I've spent literally the last 19 years just being behind, you know, with them almost constantly, except when they've gone to school. In the 19 years that I've had them, I literally can count, you know, there's 5 fingers there. There's even less time than those fingers on my hand that I've been away from them. So I've always been attentive, I've always been there. So I know their personalities. I know, I know them. Or I think I know them. And my daughter, and I'll say my daughter, not my son, my daughter has always displayed a tremendous ability to remember things very, very well. She has as well a very good memory. And I even started relying on her as well for that memory, because if I've forgotten a name, if I've forgotten not quite a phone number, but even a phone number, you know, she'll be the one reminding me, you know. I'll just have to go to her. Do you remember you were there when I had that conversation with such and such, or you were there when I watched that documentary, and do you remember the name of that person? She'll be there like not even 10-30 seconds, and then she'll blurt it out. Or if there was a situation that happened or anything, you know, she was, you know, I started to even use her a little bit like my little witness. Well, guess what? Now she plays the same game. She literally now takes that and start hiding that. And the only way to hide that, you know, it's strange, because when you have a natural talent for something, even if you don't flaunt it, I mean, why would you hide it? Why would you hide it? Well, people like that, they hide it so that they can bend reality, so that they can fool people around them. And you have to understand that for a child this young, because she started doing this to me about a year and a half ago, when I started to notice that she will pretend that, you know, she doesn't remember things. And I did confront, not when I say confront, it's not like, oh, no, not quite. It was just a case of, oh, you can remember things. And you know, I did ask a few times. And for somebody this young, because it means that by the time she was 15, because she's now 17, and she's just a few months old since she's turned 17. So if I say about a year and a half ago, I started noticing her pretending not to remember, it means that she was about 15 when she started doing that. For somebody this young to start, hiding her talent like that, and I'm pretty sure this is because she's seen her dad do this to me so many times while growing up, and she's seen the results too, how to fool me, how to, those kids that we raise with people like that, I am pretty sure they learn and they are aware of what's happening long before we, the adult, we realize what's happening. Even if they don't have the name, if they can, even if they don't understand, even if they don't copy that right away, but they are witnessing the exchange that is taking place, and they're witnessing the exertion of power, and as well as the ultimate way of getting results, getting what you want. They experience all of that from a very young age. They're watching a dynamic happening live, and even if they don't understand, even if some of them decide not to participate, but for a lot of them, like my children, they understand. It becomes almost innate, not quite innate, but instinctive, to understand what it takes to win and how to be a winner, but not by cutting corner, by manipulating. And this can be very seductive power, and especially having an authority figure and having almost kind of not quite the upper hand, but knowing so much more than that authoritative person in your life gives them so much power that by the time they come to become them, come into their own, I can see how it becomes almost natural for them to suddenly manifest those narcissistic traits. I mean, they will do it even if they're not aware of it. They'll do it even if they don't intend harm. I mean, it's almost impossible not to, if you think about it this way, because I have seen videos of other parents and as well on forums of people like me, parents like me, who suddenly are confronted with children who out of the blue just develop, demonstrate and put on full display narcissistic traits that they are just amazed because the copycatting is just so perfect, and the display of those techniques are just so perfect. So you, the blind person in a relationship, you're falling from the sky thinking, how did that happen? But what we don't understand is that they've watched this happen time and time and time. We were the one that were completely duped. We were the one who were blindfolded. We were the one who had no clue. But the kids have witnessed it probably for years. So they've internalized it, and so it's definitely gonna, it's something that's not easy to deal with, and I don't even know how to go about a situation like that and get your kids to get, to stop your kids from doing that. By the time they've reached a certain age, in their late teens, I really, I'm right in the middle of this, and I have no clue how to go about getting my kids to not become predators. Obviously there is therapy, but therapy at this point, they're not children. They have to accept it, and you have to understand as well, this is about winning. So who wants to be on the losing side of anything? So I really, truly, it's a conundrum, or it certainly is going to be a very difficult, it's going to be a challenge for me and our children in the future, because the only way we can interact or do anything is really by them going through therapy. But I mean, we have to do that, the three of us, obviously. But what are the chances it's going to work, or they're going to be willing to do that? I absolutely have no clue. And also you have to understand that it goes beyond just me, their mother. This is about as well the people who are going to love them. This is how they are going to interact with people in the future, people who cares for them, their own children, their own life partners. It is a concern. It is a concern that goes beyond my own person, because yeah. Let me read this. This is something I quickly wrote, I put together, and I just want to read that before I end this video. The covert abuser who dumb themselves down to force you on a pedestal so they can have the pleasure to make you fall, so you can feel deeply the humiliation, the confusion, so you can blame yourself, and so you can beat the crap out of yourself, making you either fight yourself or fight a ghost. That's really how I felt once I realized what was happening. That's how I felt, like, oh my God, all this time I was blaming myself. All this time I was trying different ways and different techniques to try to ease the chaos, ease the problem, find the root cause, and either trying to change myself, either trying to do other things, and thinking about 121 solutions, and that was it. Fighting myself, or thinking I had started to think that, okay, it's not my fault because this is just not me, because I function like that. I'm organized, and I'm this, and I'm this, and I'm that. I'm thoughtful, I'm organized, I'm always disciplined, I'm always this. So this cannot be me. So what's happening? So I started to think I had bad luck, and I had this, and the gods are against me, and this, and this, and this. Never suspecting that, so I felt like I was fighting a ghost, when in fact the whole situation was like organized, premeditated, put in place, cut and pasted so that I felt a certain way, so I was forced to feel a certain way. I was literally manipulated to act a certain way, to react a certain way, because of the manufactured problems and chaos that was put on my path almost on a daily by the person I thought was my life companion, was somebody who loved me, was somebody who wanted the best for me, by somebody I never suspected could possibly want to harm me could possibly, not po could possibly, it basically does not want me to succeed. And I would like as well to, when it comes to premonitions, I now understand that there's been a consistent dream that I've had about my partner, about my wolf. And this dream has always been, I can't remember the specifics of those dreams, but the theme's always been the same, that there's something major happened. I always woke up with, very anguished from those dreams. And it's always a case of something happens to him in a dream. It almost feels like he dies in a dream, in those dreams. And they happen, when I say consistently, maybe once a year or twice a year, and I've had them for quite a while. And I wake up from those dreams just worrying about him and praying to God, oh my God, at the time when I, praying to God, oh my God, please don't let anything happen to him. I can't believe, I found my soulmate, and now you want to take him away from me. And then later it was a case of, oh my God, the children are almost grown, and now, I'm looking forward to this time where we'll just be the two of us, and I'll be able to fix everything, and we'll be okay, because all this stress and everything, it's probably just because of the children and everything. So now they're almost gone, so really I'm looking forward to this, and you're giving me those dreams. Oh God, please don't take him away from me. But now I realize those dreams had nothing to do with him, something happening to him. Those dreams were signaling the end of my life with him. That was what those dreams were telling me. But I couldn't see it that way. Yeah, me and my dreams, so many of them. And unless you mind, I'll definitely would like to share quite a few of them, because I've had a few. And like I've said before, one of the things that's kind of annoying about dreams a little bit, or about my premonitions, is that until such a time things have come to pass, I never had a way of pinning down exactly what they, what they're there for, what they're trying to communicate, what they actually are doing. I've had no way of knowing. It's always way after that I realize, oh my God, this is what those dreams meant. And I suppose that's the way they are supposed to be, or it's just a case of they're part of I don't know. But anyway, this video is rather long, so I better be going. So I wish you all a good day, and courage, and the best.